Yo, what's good in it? I don't even know. I was in the UK for the last few weeks, so I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of life. Unfortunately, I did not come back with a British accent. I was so keen. I was so hoping that I'd develop an accent there in those 2 weeks and I'd come back and I'd be like, how you doing in it? And no, I didn't even use the word in it. No one there actually uses in it no more. I feel like I'm stuck in 90s British lore. It's kind of crazy, man. Britain's cool, man. We were up by Newcastle, Sunderland side, so pretty up north out there. And weather was beautiful. But I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of houses there don't have AC or heat just because it doesn't get that cold or it doesn't get too hot. But apparently they had a huge heat wave before we came, so everyone was just thankful that that had gone over. But it makes you wonder, man, because I don't know if you guys seen those videos that are going around where Americans coming back to America after visiting Europe and they're just like celebrating all the things that they missed. And all of it is just complete and utter excess. You know, they miss their gas guzzling trucks, they miss their giant SUVs, they miss the fact that, you know, they could take the tops off their water bottles and throw them at each other. It's kind of like this weird, the things that people really missed are just the complete amount of excess that we have here that, you know, they are a little bit more cognizant about out there. One thing I really did appreciate though was the amount of history. The houses we stayed in, visited, they all had lineage to them. They all had a history to them. You know, they were over 100 years old, and there was just something to it where people could say, yeah, so this is what this house was built, why, who originally lived here. And there was like this thing to it that made it seem like it was bigger than them. Whereas here, yeah, our houses can get old, like our house is going in on 40 years. But at the same time, there isn't this attached history or lineage that you want to celebrate or share. Like so-and-so lived here at the time when this was predominantly a farming city, and then none of that exists, which maybe that's just me, maybe that's just where I live in the suburb. I don't know. Another thing I did really appreciate was everything was walkable. And maybe this is a very specific to where we stayed, but it seems to me that this is a general experience, is everything seems and felt walkable. Whereas here, unless you're living in a downtown core area, if you're living in the suburbs, there's none of that in the suburbs. And I didn't get the feeling that there were really suburbs out there. It was very much, here's a city, here's where we're living, and then it's, you know, a bit of country and then the next city. But there is something to a breathable, livable 15-minute city that has people here and up in arms at the thought of, you know, what do you mean I have to walk to get the grocery? You don't have to walk there either. You could, you know, take your car, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But the fact that you have the choice to walk in, it's a manageable thing. And obviously, you know, they're celebrated for their public transportation, which I did not actually experience this time around. Maybe next time when I go, I will make more of an effort to experience it. But no one even thinks about really jumping on public transport here unless they are, again, in the city. So maybe this is just a whole city versus suburban vibe thing that I'm actually comparing. So who knows? But it was a beautiful time out there, man. Weather was great. People were awesome. Food was great. Had some chips and gravy. And I'm going to be honest, controversial opinion. French fries, chips, whatever you want to call them, whatever makes you happy. Not all that. I like them. I feel like the fact that we've somehow, like, America has burgers as their national dish. Somehow the UK has made beans and chips their national dish. And kind of overrated. I don't know what Canada has. I guess we have poutine, which is kind of fish and chips. You get what I'm saying though, right? I don't know. When I was there, I was getting a lot of people messaging me saying, oh, make sure you check out the chips. Make sure you have chips and curry. I was like, all right, dude, I had it. They were cool. They're like, yeah, you can't get chips like that in Canada. I was like, yo, buddy, chill. It's just French fries. No, they don't make them like that. Yeah, they deep fry them a little longer. I don't know. Food was great, though. We had a great time. Another thing that just completely blew my mind was the cost of living there is hella expensive. I don't know how anyone survives there. They're paying £4 for coffee. We're paying $2, $3 still. Lucky enough. But seeing as how the pound is double what the dollar, or the dollar is whatever. Seeing as how the pound is worth double what the dollar is, it makes, or the Canadian dollar at least, it makes you wonder just how anyone's surviving out there, man. Anyways, it is what it is. I'm trying to get into the vibe of doing these videos a little bit more regularly. I know I dropped off. I'm sorry, but we'll get there. Anyways, till the next one. Peace.